monoxide detector for free. Carbon monoxide is the invisible killer, sending thousands to the ER and killing hundreds in the U.S. every year. Get peak efficiency, avoid surprise breakdowns, and protect your family. Make the precision decision today and call 602-FIX-MY-AC.
Meineke always treats your car like it's their own. With over 50 years of experience, Meineke's certified technicians will diagnose and fix any issue with precision and care. Schedule an appointment at Meineke.com. Trust your key with Meineke. Meineke, doing car care right.
Fridays at 5, I'm out exploring. From hiking up Camelback to skiing at Snowbowl, the adventures never stop with AAA. It's membership that travels with me, whether behind the wheel or a passenger. In my ride, my buddies, or a rental. AAA's got 24/7 expert help with tows, battery help, and more. Plus, branch services like free passport photos and trip planning. Membership gives you all this and more for less than $6 a month. And I can add loved ones for half off. Call or visit your local branch today. AAA, your membership to go.
Superstar Car Wash has extended our best deal of the year. Lock in 30% off for 12 months on a Super Protect Unlimited membership. Splurge elsewhere, save here, and treat your wealth before it's gone. Visit our website for details.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix. It's the lunch break.
Tuesday, January 6th, 2026. Welcome into the lunch break here on KDUS AM 1060. Chris Schubert, producer Evan with you for the next 2 hours on what is going to be another jam-packed football edition of the program. If you want to get in, if you want to get involved with the show today, the phone number 480-864-1060. You can also chat away with us over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. Producer Evan, how are you today on a Tuesday?
I'm good. Good. A little overreaction Tuesday. A lot of football today. Excited to get into it.
Yeah, lots of football, but we take a brief detour because there was a basketball game last night. And unfortunately, we are not breaking out the schedule. We are not adding another W to the calendar. And I got to tell you, I'm a little ticked off to start today's program.
Time for our top story of the day. It's the Daily Special.
The Houston Rockets just annoy me now. I hate the Houston Rockets. There, I said it. I despise everything about the Houston Rockets. Before the season, I wasn't worried about getting to this place. But after last night, I'm annoyed. And I'll tell you why I'm annoyed. Before the season, yeah, there was going to be drama about the Suns facing Kevin Durant, especially the first year since the breakup and the trade, the moving on. Suns starting a new chapter. So you knew there would be some heightened drama. There would be some heightened attention to those games. But two teams that are running different races. Houston traded for Kevin Durant in a win-now mode, trying to be a thorn in Oklahoma City's side in the Western Conference. The Suns running a totally different race than the Houston Rockets when the season began. You just wanted to see signs of progress. You wanted to see a team going in the right direction, young players developing, a coach showing to you that he's capable of being a head coach in the NBA, a general manager who through the play of the players that they acquired, that they sought out in the offseason, in the Kevin Durant trade, in the draft, via free agency. You wanted to get the sense, the feeling that these two knew what they were doing. That's the race the Suns were running before the season. And as we have mentioned countless times here on this program, somewhere in the first couple weeks of the season, that race changed a little bit. Suns are now running a different race. That race is to be a playoff team. That race has now morphed into being a top 6 team in the Western Conference and avoiding the play-in tournament. And that race has somewhat evolved to, can you be a top 5 team? Is there a chance you could be that 4 seed and host a postseason series and have home court advantage in some home playoff games downtown Phoenix? That was beyond all of our wildest dreams before the season began. And so because of that, because the race changed, because you beat San Antonio the 2 times you've played them this year, because you've had the Lakers number this season, because you've played relatively competitively against the Oklahoma City Thunder, who, by the way, did you see they got blown out by Charlotte last night? Charlotte blew out the Oklahoma City Thunder. Team 6-5 over their last 11 games. They've hit a bit of a rough patch. Suns caught them at a really nice time the other night to pick up their win on Sunday against this Thunder team. But you played competitively against them in the group stage of the NBA Cup. You weren't healthy for that middle matchup, and then you beat them last time out. So because of all of that, because you're now running a different race, and because you've beaten some of those teams that I just mentioned, it becomes infuriating when you can't beat the Houston Rockets. And yes, it becomes extra infuriating because of the guy that's on the other side, because of the guy that hit the shot last night. It's because it's Kevin Durant, and it's because you get to hear him gloat in the postgame about being a scapegoat and, it's a place that didn't want me. It's nice to be appreciated. Get over yourself, Kevin Durant. But unfortunately, you've got to hear that because you can't get past this team. And now the Houston Rockets are kind of morphing and evolving into the chief rival of this new version of the Phoenix Suns. More so than the Lakers, more so than the Thunder, more so than the Spurs. The Houston Rockets have now become the thorn in the Suns' side. It's the one team they can't seem to get past. Been somewhat of a calling card of Jordan Ott that when he sees a team a second, a third time around, he makes the proper adjustments. And I would argue that the adjustments made in this game against Houston fared better than their previous two matchups with Houston, where they got the doors blown off them. They weren't as competitive as they were. And consider this for just a second. The Phoenix Suns left yesterday for the game last night. They had mechanical issues after their win against the Thunder on Sunday. Decided to go home, sleep in their own beds, wake up yesterday, get on a plane. They showed up 2 p.m. local time for that game last night in Houston. There were the delays in the game. You had to have the PA announcer talk about what's on the shot clock. All this nonsense. The Suns came within a whisker of beating the Houston Rockets. Imagine for just a second the tone this show, the tone the Daily Special would have today, if fresh off that win against the Thunder, fresh off all those issues plaguing them ahead of that game last night, if they won. But instead, I've got to hear Kevin Durant whine and complain in the postgame. I've got to hear him try to paint himself out to be the victim, to be the scapegoat. Sure, Kevin, your statistics were very good here in Phoenix. I wouldn't necessarily blame you for what went wrong over the 2+ years, the 2+ seasons that you spent here in Phoenix. But your presence caused issues. Your ego, the aura surrounding you, allowed a team that was more talented than this year's team win what I think is going to be fewer games. So you're not the scapegoat. You're not innocent. You're not a victim in all of this. And I'm sure Kevin Durant's monitoring social media. So, producer Ivan, if we decide to make this the clip today, maybe you want to include this part. Hello, Kevin Durant. How are you? But that's what I have to hear instead of the Suns picking up what would have been another statement win, winning the second leg of a back-to-back after beating the best team in the NBA, the defending NBA champs. And I know they're going through a rough patch. They're still the defending NBA champs. They're still going to have a say in this by the time everything is said and done. And you couldn't get past that team last night, and now it's bothering me. Now I'm frustrated by your inability to beat Houston. I'm not mad at the team. I'm just annoyed. I'm annoyed that this team, and Kevin Durant in particular, is now becoming a thorn in Phoenix's side. More of a thorn than Oklahoma City, more of a thorn than San Antonio, more of a thorn than LA, more of a thorn than Minnesota. Houston and Denver really appear to be the only thorns in Phoenix's side this year. And that's the thing that might be stopping them from being talked about as a top 4 team in the Western Conference. So I'm annoyed at losing to that team. I'm annoyed that KD gets that shot off. I'm annoyed that you can't come away with that victory. And now I'm annoyed that a new rivalry is forming when before the year, I wouldn't have cared. I wouldn't have cared if you lost these games to Houston. I wouldn't have cared if Kevin Durant knocked down these shots. But now, the team that's grown up in front of our eyes, a team that just beat Oklahoma City, a team that's making noise in the Western Conference, I wanted last night. I wanted that game against Houston, against Kevin Durant. I wanted that moment for Phoenix. And unfortunately, they have not been able to have that moment this season. So I'm angry today, frustrated, annoyed that team now becomes the chief rival for this Phoenix Suns organization.
And it feels like there's two sides to every coin, right? I'm so upset they lost last night because you said it best. The Rockets is one thing. Having it beat Kevin Durant is such a stab in the heart.
And again,
because
before the season,
I wouldn't care.
I wouldn't care.
But you've earned the right to care.
Right.
That's the other point of it, is you've played well enough. You've beaten Oklahoma City. You take 2 of 3 from the Lakers to this point. You've hung in games with other teams in the West. You've taken it to Minnesota a few times. I'm sorry. It feels like you should be able to get over this hump with the Houston Rockets. And because it's Kevin Durant, it makes it that much more frustrating. But you've earned the right, if you're the Suns, to call this a rivalry, to call this an annoying loss, because I think at the start of the year, well, you lost by 3 to the Rockets in Houston. I think you and I would be like, wow, it's a good day for the Suns. That's not where they're at now.
In the summer, when you trade Kevin Durant to Houston, when you trade Kevin Durant inside the Western Conference, you expect that he's going to have a moment against you. He's going to use that as fuel, and you're going to have a time during his tenure there in Houston where he's going to do what he did last night to you as an organization. I was okay with that. I was okay with that being the trade-off of starting a new chapter, because I knew that for this year and next year, it probably wouldn't bother me. I'd let it roll off of my back. But I'm going to steal your phrase, producer Evan, if you don't mind, because I think it's a great one. This team has earned the right to be annoyed by that moment last night. You as a fan have earned the right to be annoyed by that moment last night. You as a fan have earned the right to be annoyed that they can't get past Houston because they are seemingly getting past everybody else in the Western Conference, exceeding every single expectation. What are they on pace for? 46, 47 wins this season? Nobody had that on their bingo card. So you've earned the right to expect them to win games like last night. You earned the right to expect them to have those moments, and you've earned the right to be annoyed when it doesn't go your way. And I didn't feel this way, honestly. The other 2 meetings they played Houston end of November, right? That was a home game against Houston. I wasn't bothered by that. It was Kevin Durant against the Suns for the first time. It was on Peacock. They made that game a national spectacle. You knew what came with the territory. And at that part of the season, you're still feeling it out. You're still unsure what to make of Jordan Ott. You're excited. You're encouraged. A lot of wins piling up early, but you're not even 2 full months into the season. You pump the brakes a little bit. So you can accept that one, just like you can accept the game at the beginning of December in Houston. This one felt different. And maybe it's because they beat Oklahoma City. Maybe it's because the sample size is growing larger. Maybe it's because with the injuries to Denver, you sense an opportunity, you sense an opening. And maybe it's just because you felt like you had the game right there in front of you last night. You had a chance to win, even though things weren't going your way throughout the 4 quarters. And that happens. KD hits a shot to beat you. It's all ingredients in a soup that makes me frustrated to open the show today. But that shows you how far this organization has come in just 2.5 months.
That is everything. Who thought that you would have developed a rival with a contender in the Western Conference?
Who would have thought that on January 6th, I would be annoyed at a regular season NBA game to the octave that I am today?
2.5 games back of Houston. You could have been 1.5.
Just you felt it. It was right there in front of you last night. Right there. And unfortunately, it's a team that you have yet to beat this season. Maybe you'll meet up with them in the postseason. I know you play them a couple more times, maybe 1 or 2 more times here before the season gets closed. I think they play the end of April. They play a home game against Houston. That's a already nationally televised game on April 7th. They play Houston. So I see at least one more meeting with them on the calendar after this one last night. But yeah, just unfortunate that they let this one slip away. And I hate the Houston Rockets. I hate them. They now have become that team for me where when the Suns play them, I want the Dylan Brooks revenge game. I want Devin Booker to go off. I want Jalen Green healthy for that April 7th matchup. I want him flying all over the place, dropping 30 against his old team. I want it all the next time these two teams play. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. You can also hang out with us over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. Our guy, It's All Code over there, says, not concerned or bothered by it at all. Suns have played them on the second night of a back-to-back 2 out of 3 times. Their time will come. I appreciate, Code, the optimism, right? Maybe the sense of not allowing emotions to play a role in all of this. And I don't think the season is over because of this. I don't think the Suns have an inability to beat Houston because of this, because you're right. Both 2 of the 3 times they've played them has been on a back-to-back. They were competitive in that game last night when they had every reason not to be. There are encouraging signs, but I just can't help be annoyed. I'm not worried, troubled by the future. I'm just annoyed that the game didn't go the Suns' way last night. On the other side of the break, when we come back, if they can't beat them, should they steal from them? That's next, the lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
NAU men's basketball continues here on KDUS AM 1060. Join the Lumberjacks this Thursday evening as they play host to Weber State. With the leadership of head coach Shane Burkhart, NAU knows they have what it takes to defend home court. Join Mitch Stroman on the call live. It's NAU versus Weber State this Thursday. Pregame at 5:30 p.m. and tip-off at 6 right here on KDUS AM 1060. Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
I get by with a little help from my friends.
Ringo Starr and his all-star band. With friends, Steve Lukather from Toto. From Men at Work, Colin Hay. From Average White Band, Hamish Stewart. Friday, June 12th at 7:30 p.m., Gamage Auditorium. On sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Produced by Danny Zalesko Presents.
Hey guys, if you have low T, it's time to get your edge back. Start testosterone therapy at Red Mountain Weight Loss and get a month of GLP-1 weight loss medications absolutely free. That's a $299 value. Listen, just because you're getting older doesn't mean you have to feel older. Prescription testosterone restores your get up and go, so you'll feel like you're 20 again. Get more muscle with less effort in the gym. You'll also think better, sleep better, and your love life will be better. Look, don't be fooled. Nothing boosts testosterone like actual testosterone. It's a game changer. And if you're looking to lose weight, there's nothing like the combo of testosterone and a GLP-1 medication. It'll burn that belly fat and get you ripped. This month, get free GLP-1 medication, a $299 value, when you start testosterone therapy only at Red Mountain Weight Loss. Book your video appointment today. Go to redmountainweightloss.com or dial pound 250 on your phone. Keyword Red Mountain. Time to get your edge back at Red Mountain Weight Loss.
Hi, I'm Dave Hastings. A lot of people don't realize how our fee works at Hastings & Hastings, and it's one of the biggest advantages we offer. When you hire Hastings & Hastings, you pay nothing up front, nothing at all. We front every expense it takes to fight your case, and you don't owe us a dime unless we win. And when your case does settle, our discount fee means more money stays where it belongs, with you. In fact, in a recent $15 million settlement, our discount fee put over $1 million additional dollars in our client's pocket. That's money other attorneys would have taken for themselves. That's the difference when you choose an experienced Arizona law firm that believes in fairness, transparency, and real results for clients. That's Hastings & Hastings. No fee unless you win. And when you do, our discount fee means more money for you.
Think of all the money you're wasting if you don't call Hastings & Hastings.
Jim Rome here with your Rome Report. Let's go to Phoenix. Andrew in Phoenix. Andrew, how are you? Hey, Andrew, you're on the air. Andrew, what's going on? Dummy.
No.
Dummy.
I don't like that call. Not a very good
Hey, Andrew, do me a favor. Keep this in mind. I put you on hold. You don't put me on hold. I put you on hold. You wait on hold to talk to me. I don't wait on hold to talk to you. I hang up on you. You don't hang up on me. Do not put that phone down. Keep it glued to your ear. If you have to, and you're multitasking, you can put the speaker on, and the second you hear me, quickly turn it off, pick it up, put it to the side of your head, and talk into it. I'm Jim Rome. Remember, you can follow me on Instagram at Jim Rome.
O'Reilly.
Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we could recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
ASU women's basketball continues here on KDUS AM 1060. The Lady Sun Devils make their way back to Arizona, this time to defend home court against the University of Central Florida. Head coach Molly Miller and the Lady Sun Devils are more than ready to take on any challenge that comes to Tempe. Join Jeff Munn on the call live this Wednesday. It's ASU versus UCF. Pregame at 6 p.m. and tip-off at 6:30 right here on KDUS AM 1060. Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
I said it was going to be a football-heavy day here on the lunch break. In about 15 minutes from now, we will discuss Kyler Murray's future and why it is probably best for both sides to part ways here before the new league year in March. But if the Cardinals can't beat them, should they steal from them? Under Jonathan Gannon, the Arizona Cardinals, 3-15 against the NFC West. And we know that in football, more so than any other sport, have to be able to compete in your division. The easiest way for you to make the playoffs, and has there ever been a better example of this than the 8-9 Carolina Panthers making the playoffs? You just have to stay close enough to your rivals in your division to stand a chance. Carolina didn't have a great year.
They won the division.
Yes, at 8-9, because they just hung around and played good enough football to be there at the end. The Cardinals play in a division where the standard is, let's face it, much higher than the NFC South. And they are miles away from closing that gap. So you have to compete in your division, and the Cardinals haven't done that for a half decade. And they've tried. Cliff Kingsbury, college coach, offensive innovator, the darling of the sport at the time. He's going to come in here. He's going to revolutionize the way this team plays offense. Kyler Murray's going to be the quarterback. They're just going to score a ton of points. They're going to take it to San Francisco. They're going to take it to the Rams. They're going to take it to Seattle. And they're now going to be the top dog in the division. That didn't happen. In fact, he got clowned by the Rams in a playoff game. The only playoff game Kyler Murray's ever played in. Probably the lowest point of Kyler Murray's career, where most of this fan base, most of you listening, said you were done with Kyler Murray, was that moment in that playoff game. Jonathan Gannon rolls to town. Doesn't win a divisional game this year. Wins a couple last year, 3-15. So, if you can't beat them, you know the old saying, if you can't beat them, join them? I'm going to alter it a little bit. If you can't beat them, how about you steal from them? How about you prioritize in your interview process the coordinators in the division that you have an inability to close the gap on? Because worst case scenario, it's a fact-finding mission where you pick the brains of these coordinators. Maybe you don't land them as your head coach. Maybe you figure out they're not the right fit for the Arizona Cardinals. But wouldn't it do you a service to pick the brains of the coordinators that have owned you for the last 3 years, under Jonathan Gannon. It's been longer, but we'll just say the last 3 years under Jonathan Gannon. If you're Monty and you're trying to put together a roster that can close that gap, which is the size of the Grand Canyon, the gap between the Cardinals and the rest of the teams in the NFC West, wouldn't you pick their brains to see what they identify as the issues, why they find it so easy to beat you week after week, year after year? If you just decided as an organization, we're only going to interview coordinators from the NFC West, and we're only going to hire from that pool of coaches. Do you know what the group looks like? This is the group on the offensive side. You'd be interviewing Mike LaFleur, Clint Kubiak, and Clay Kubiak. Now, Clay is the pass game specialist because, as we know, in San Francisco, Kyle Shanahan's actually the offensive coordinator, but he is listed as the top offensive assistant for San Francisco. On the defensive side, it would be Chris Shula, it would be Robert Saleh, it would be Aiden Dirty. There are a worse group of candidates that you could hire in this cycle than those 6 coordinators that I just mentioned. This is where I would start if I'm the Arizona Cardinals. And I know it's tough because all 3 of these teams are in the playoffs and the rules make it difficult for you to interview these guys. But I'm making phone calls and I'm talking to all of them if I can. And these teams probably not going to like me calling for permission, but these are promotions, so teams can't block these interviews. I'm picking all of their brains. You want an experienced coach? Robert Saleh's been a former NFL head coach. Not experienced in the true sense of being an NFL head coach, but you got somebody with the last name Shula. You got somebody with the last name Kubiak. 2 Kubiaks that you can interview. You've got experience. You've got expertise. You've got whatever you want. Pick your poison. Whatever you're looking for in this coaching search, if you're the Arizona Cardinals, it exists right in your backyard. This is where I would start. Start with the guys who have had your number for years now. Start with the guys who know what it takes to win this division, to be competitive in this division, to be relevant in this division. You think Robert Saleh knows a thing or two about how to stay on top in the NFC West? Was the San Francisco defensive coordinator, leaves to go to New York, fails in New York, works with Green Bay as a senior defensive assistant, comes back as the defensive coordinator for San Francisco. Defense is playing pretty well. He knows what it takes to scheme up a defense to face Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay. He knows how to scheme a defense to take on Sam Darnold. He knows how to scheme a defense to beat the Arizona Cardinals. Chris Shula, one of the hottest names on the defensive side of the ball for the Rams defense. The Rams defense having one of the better turnarounds you're going to see over a couple of years. Remember when Aaron Donald retired? The state of that roster? They've hit on draft picks. They've hit on young defenders. You don't think Chris Shula's had a seat at the table to develop Jared Verse into the defender that he is? You don't think Chris Shula could get more out of Darius Robinson, could tap into the potential of a Walter Nolan, can put players like Garrett Williams and Max Melton and Will Johnson in positions to succeed? You don't think that Clint Kubiak, after working with Sam Darnold, couldn't find another reclamation project to bring to Arizona as a bridge quarterback to be the guy to give stability to that side of the ball? Look in your backyard. I do it. I see a neighbor that's got a cool gadget. Hey, where'd you get that from? Hey, what's going on here? I've got plenty of houses in my neighborhood that have the permanent lights set up in front of their house all year long. For Halloween, they've got Halloween-themed stuff. For Christmas, they turn them into Christmas lights. I don't try to reinvent the wheel. Hey, what brand of lights did you get? I really like those. I'm not trying to overcomplicate it. The Arizona Cardinals should not overcomplicate this process. You have an inability to compete in your division. How about you first talk to the guys who can compete in your division, who have shown an ability to compete in your division? This is where if I was sitting in Monti Ossenfort's chair and I was leading, spearheading this coaching search, that's where I would start. Start with the teams that apparently have your number in a way that's going to stop you from making the postseason. It's going to stop you from turning this around. That's where you have to turn things around first, is competing more in your division. So why wouldn't you pick the brains of the people who know that the best, who know how to compete in that division, who know how to beat you? Worst case scenario, you gain valuable information to turn this roster around. Best case scenario, you find your next head coach who's got some experience in doing the exact thing that you need to get better at. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to hop into the program here today. You can also hang out with us over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube channel, where we've got the live stream of the show going as well. When we come back, all options are on the table. But should they be? That's next. Lunch break. KDUS AM 1060.
James Out West, your desert destination for sports here in the Valley.
Not surprised that the Cardinals aren't in. They fired their head coach. Kyler Murray's probably on his way out. It is what they like to call Black Monday. I'm kind of surprised by the Raheem Morris one in Atlanta. It's only been how long? Year? 2 years. So maybe that one. Pete Carroll gone. I told you from the jump when they hired Pete Carroll, I didn't like the hire. I think he's past his due. Let him go after year one. You might as well have kept the guy you had before and saved a bunch of money.
Every other Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060. The Marshall Tucker Band. Get ready for a night of legendary Southern rock and sing along to all the classics. The Marshall Tucker Band with special guest Firefall, bringing their timeless hits. February 28th at the Celebrity Theater. Tickets on sale now at celebritytheater.com. The Marshall Tucker Band and Firefall, brought to you by Danny Salisco Presents.
Hi, I'm Dustin, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. As director of diamond sourcing, it's my job to make sure every single diamond is worthy of a Shane Company engagement ring. Our team travels the world to see diamonds in person and handpick each one. That type of dedication only comes from working for a company that's been a family business since 1929. No matter your budget, your diamond is guaranteed to be the most beautiful because a friend wants you to pick from only the best. Drop by your store or shaneco.com and see for yourself. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
When you want to have so much fun, come to Twin Arrows for a flurry of cash and prizes. The place to come when you want to have too much fun. When you hit the slopes, hit the slots and tables at Twin Arrows. Then stay the night. Rooms only $99 at our AAA 4-Diamond Resort. Twin Arrows. Zenith Steakhouse hits the mark with the finest cuts of Navajo beef. And we're proud to announce we've just received the coveted Top 3 of 2025 award from Business Rate. Talk about hits. The Marshall Tucker Band performs here February 27th. Tickets start at $78. The place to come when you want to have too much fun. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP.
Empty slogans and cute jingles, lawyers love to act like they care. Do they back it up? Hi, I'm Mark Breyer.
And I'm Alexis Breyer. We're the husband and wife law team. One study found that half of all clients were unhappy with the lawyer they hired. The number one complaint, a total lack of communication.
We take client happiness seriously. That's why we survey all our clients and know that over 97% are happy. Do your research. Call the husband and wife law team first.
Casino Arizona is uniquely Arizona. Feel at home with the Valley's one true locals casino, from the welcoming, friendly smiles to the slot win high five celebrations. Picture yourself with the coolest cast at our blackjack tables. Dine like a rock star at our buffet or Choya Steakhouse, where even the steaks are famous. Want to stack up rewards while having fun at your favorite casino? Join Salt River Rewards, and the excitement keeps rising with every return visit. Casino Arizona, uniquely Arizona. You must be 21 years of age or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alicio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the Valley,
asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alicio, live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
We've got gone nearly the whole first hour of the program without me sharing my thoughts on the press conference that was held yesterday by Monti Ossenfort and Michael Bidwell after the news of Jonathan Gannon's dismissal as the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. Don't worry, we're going to get to that to close up hour number one of the program because it concerned me what we heard from specifically the general manager yesterday in a few different areas, but it concerned me about the future of this organization. We'll get to that to close up hour number one of the show. But right now, and I will tell you here at the outset that I'm worried about being hypocritical a little bit because it was yesterday on the show that we talked about how the Cardinals should keep their options open when it came to who their quarterback is next season. And I said that because I want the Cardinals to get the best head coaching candidate that they feel is for this organization. And if that coaching candidate wants to keep Kyler Murray around, I don't want Michael Bidwell and Monti Ossenfort to have a preconceived notion of what they want to do with the quarterback position and to force a decision onto a head coach. And the reason why I don't want that is it just doesn't set the proper foundation for the relationship between the head coach, the GM, and the owner. It doesn't set yourself up for it to feel like it is a collaborative process. The head coach is going to want to have his say on this roster. He's going to want his fingerprints. He's going to want to tell the GM, this is what I need at the corner spot. This is what I need my quarterback to do. This is what I like in a right tackle. He's going to pass that information off to the GM, and the coach is going to have a seat at the scouting meetings when the draft and free agency rolls around, but he's going to want to pass off that information and let the GM use that information to guide their decisions. If that head coach, before they've even signed on the dotted line to be the head coach, if one decision is already taken out of their hands and dictated to them, it just doesn't feel like the best foundation for what's going to be a healthy, thriving, collaborative relationship. So I want the Cardinals to go into this with a clean mind so that if they feel like Robert Saleh is the best head coach for them and Robert Saleh wants to give it a shot with Kyler Murray, I don't want that to be disqualifying and they decide we don't want Robert Saleh because of this, and now they get their number 2 option or their number 3 option, and the entire time their number 1 option could have been had. At the same token, I don't think they should run it back at the quarterback spot. Both Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals choosing to run this back next year would be a disaster for both parties. So you can see the conundrum I find myself in. I want the Cardinals to find the best head coach for the job, even if that head coach wants to keep Kyler. But I don't think keeping Kyler is in the best interest of this organization. And I'm comforted by the idea that I don't know how many teams, or how many coaches, I should say, are going to want to tie themselves to Kyler Murray when they've watched it not work now for 2 different regimes, 2 different GMs, 2 different head coaches. So I'm less worried about that coming to fruition. But for the Cardinals, the reason why you don't run this back and the reason why you may go into this head coaching process with said bias, I would say Monti is lucky to get another swing at this. I feel even more confident in that statement after what I heard from him yesterday. And we'll get to that to close hour number 1 of the program. Monti is lucky that he's going to get another chance at this. How many GMs get multiple swings at a head coach? How many GMs get a chance to decide on the quarterback and then get another chance at picking a quarterback? It's not many. Most GMs, you get one head coach, and normally when that coach gets told to kick rocks, you're also told to pack your things. You very rarely get 2, 3 chances at this. Monti is going to get a second chance to pick a head coach because he picked the first guy. And so if the first guy didn't work out, that's a demerit on your resume. So usually you're not entrusted to make a decision again. But okay, you're going to get a mulligan. Michael Bidwell still thinks you're the right guy for the job. Michael Bidwell still thinks that you can pick a good head coach, that you can make the right decision at quarterback, that you can turn this roster around. Okay, you're going to get another chance. You're not going to want to tie yourself to the guy at quarterback for a litany of reasons. His availability, his play when he was on the field, being injured, it didn't work. And in some ways, it's the quarterback that put him in this mess to where Jonathan Gannon had to be let go yesterday. He's not going to tie himself to that quarterback again. He's going to go out on his own terms with a head coach that he picked and a quarterback that he selected, whether it's with the 3rd overall pick in the draft, whether they trade for somebody, whether they sign a bridge in free agency. He's going to go down with somebody that he selected. When we get to next year, Monty's going to be on the hot seat because it's going to be another coach he picked. It's going to be his roster 100%, and it's going to be his quarterback. There is no, it's the last regime's quarterback. It's the extension that the last regime gave out. That we had to really get to this point before we could get out of the Kyler Murray business. That excuse no longer exists when the 2026 regular season kicks off.
And it's not just the fact that they are 3-14 this year and went 8-9 last year, because I get it. It's not all his roster. But to this point in his 3 years, he has not drafted or added via trade or free agency a Pro Bowler to the roster.
Oh, be careful. Don't bring this up. He gets very upset when you bring this up. We're going to talk about this a little bit later on in this hour. Close hour number 1. He was pressed on this. He was pressed by a very good beat reporter. Teo Mackey might be the best beat reporter in Phoenix. He is excellent at this.
And I thought Teo went after him a few times.
We're going to read the quotes. We're going to read that to close the hour because this is where I think Monty did not do himself any favors yesterday. But this roster that he's put together, that he's got 3 drafts to look back on. 3 drafts. Doesn't have a Pro Bowler. A lot of work to do. So are you really going to run it back with the quarterback that put you in this mess in some ways? Not going to happen. Also, it's the definition of insanity to try this again. This is like the friend. We all had this friend. Maybe you still have this friend who keeps going back to the ex-girlfriend. And sitting on the sidelines, this isn't going to work out. This is a disaster. They're not compatible. It didn't work the first time. It didn't work the second time. It's not going to work the 5th time. And yet you see your friend, your dude, just keep telling you, no, she's the one, bro. She's the one. And no, she's not. We all know, Kyler Murray is not the franchise quarterback of the Arizona Cardinals. He's not. We need to stop convincing ourselves that he can be. He might go someplace else. He might thrive in that system. There may be a coach that gets through to him. There may be a roster situation that's better. Guess what? That happens. Minnesota had it happen to them with Sam Darnold. The Jets had it happen to them with both Sam Darnold and Geno Smith. It happens. Baker Mayfield is another example. Jared Goff. It happens. Quarterbacks go other places and they succeed. Matthew Stafford, Detroit, they knew what they had, but they understood it didn't work here. He goes someplace else. Okay. It happens. But it would be insane to run this back. And then there's the Kyler side of this. Is Kyler really going to lay it all out there on the line for an organization that clearly doesn't want him? They clearly don't want him to be their franchise quarterback. They clearly have buyer's remorse over that extension. They played in 1 playoff game in Kyler's 7 years here. They lost it. It's the lowest point of Kyler's career. They've played in 1 playoff game with him. He's the number 1 overall pick. Trevor Lawrence is about to play in more playoff games and has played in more playoff games as a number 1 overall pick than Kyler Murray has in a shorter amount of time. The organization clearly wants to move on. So why would you want to come back here? I'm surprised Kyler didn't pull a Tua, and he may still pull a Tua. See Tua yesterday come out and say, yeah, a change of scenery might be good. Fresh start might be good.
I think that's what he should do. He can't honestly sit here and think this is the best situation for him.
And if you're Kyler Murray, right, you're 7 years in. You don't have many years. Do you have another 7 years? Is Kyler Murray going to be a 14-year vet in the NFL?
Not as a starter.
I don't think so. So you've got a limited window here to try to do this. Isn't it in your best interest in your career to try this someplace else?
You would have to think so.
You would have to think so. And that's why it is in the best interest of both sides to move on. Now, again, I don't want to sound hypocritical, but I want the Cardinals to conduct a thorough coaching search and leave every option open. I'm worried that the bias that I have is the bias that they're going to have, and it's going to influence their process. But I just think it is best for both sides that these two parties go their separate ways. It gives the Cardinals a clean start, a clean break for Monty to pick his guy at quarterback, and it is a clean break for Kyler Murray to give it a go someplace else. Will it work? Who knows? But you don't know until you try it. I do know it's not working here. I do know it's not going to work here. It's just not. Kyler Murray's not going to be put in a position to succeed next year if he comes back. So it's in the best interest of both parties to move on. So yes, all options are on the table, as they should be, but I do think common sense is going to prevail here, and they're going to get to a place where these two sides part ways before the new league year starts in March. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. You can also hang out with us over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. When we come back, Monti Ossenfort and Michael Bidwell, they failed yesterday. I'll tell you how next. It's the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
You're listening to the Jim Rome Show.
Lane Kiffin reinvention arc went from one of the truly feel-good stories in the game to him once again becoming public enemy number one. I have no issue with him leaving. It's how he left. Burning all bridges yet again. You strung Ole Miss along. You turned it into a complete circus, and then you were bent when they wouldn't let you coach them in the playoff? Get out of here with that. It's natty or bust for you at LSU, Lane.
The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m., Monday through Friday, here on KDUS AM 1060.
Bad Omens. Do you feel love? North American Tour 2026. Live at Desert Diamond Arena, March 24th. Bad Omens. With special guests, Beartooth and President. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Bad Omens, live in Glendale.
Hi, I'm Dustin, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. I know finding a dream engagement ring can be overwhelming, but don't worry, we got you. As director of diamond sourcing, it's my job to make sure every single diamond at Shane Company is truly the best of the best. Our team travels the world to see diamonds up close, in person. We handpick each one for its unique fire, brilliance, and scintillation. Diamond buying is an art. Of course, we look at cut, color, clarity, and carat, known as the 4 C's, but that's not all. We also look at how each diamond looks on a hand, where it will be worn, how it makes you feel, and if it's worthy of a Shane Company customer. That type of expertise only comes from working for a company that's been a family business since 1929. We also think about your budget. We only pick the best in each grade in all shapes and sizes. Your diamond is guaranteed to be the most beautiful because a friend wants you to pick from only the best. Drop by your store or shaneco.com and see for yourself. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
One study found that half of all clients are unhappy with their lawyer. The number one complaint, a total lack of communication.
That's why we survey our clients and know over 97% are happy. Do your research. Call the husband and wife law team first.
Meineke always treats your car like it's their own. With over 50 years of experience, Meineke's certified technicians will diagnose and fix any issue with precision and care. Schedule an appointment at Meineke.com. Trust your key with Meineke. Meineke, doing car care right.
Join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Beerstein.
I think the officiating this year was one of the worst overall jobs in big moments on nationally televised games.
It took baseball a couple big plays, but they finally decided that was the right move. That when they would show a replay at first base, Andy, and everybody after one replay would know in an instant of a second, oh, that guy was safe or that guy was out. I hope that's the one thing about the NFL in the offseason. That's got to change, Andy.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
As we close up hour number 1 of the show, and thanks for joining us here today on the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060. Feel like we should touch on the press conference yesterday from Michael Bidwell and Monti Ossenfort after making the decision to fire head coach Jonathan Gannon and start all over. Hit the reset button and start this process all over again after a 3-14 season. They have to start the board game back at the beginning. They drew the card that sent them back to start. And they are now going to try to find a new head coach that is going to be able to turn this organization around. And so they met with the media yesterday, and I think they failed a very important job. They failed to convince me that they had things figured out. They, yesterday, didn't sell a vision of what was wrong, what they're going to do to fix it, and what the future is going to look like. I'm sure many of you listening to this program have been through a major shakeup at your office, at your job, where somebody gets let go. A couple of people get let go. A longtime coworker, been there 10, 15, 20 years, is let go. There's a mood that hovers over the building for that day. There's a mood that hovers. There's an atmosphere. There's this sense of anxiousness that kind of permeates throughout the building when something like that occurs. It takes a good leader, takes a strong leader to calm that mood, to say the right things, to sell a vision for the future, to tell everybody it's going to be okay. I understand why you feel the way that you feel. I am hurt as well. I don't like to see blank person leave, but this is why we had to do this. This is what it's going to allow us to do in the future. This is where we're going. I hope you join me. You've got to sell that vision. That's what you do in times of strife. That's what you do in times of anger, of high emotion, of disappointment. And that's the moment that the Cardinals had yesterday. And that's the moment that I think the general manager in particular failed to meet. That didn't happen yesterday. They did not meet that moment. Monty was certainly angry, but I don't think it was the right kind of anger. Now, I don't want to be all sports radio psychologist here, but I felt like it was the wrong kind of anger. He felt more angry at the questions, at being asked the questions, than he was at the situation of a 3-14 season. Now, maybe I'm misreading it, but that's the body language that I got in the way that he answered questions. Just look at the exchange. We mentioned it a little bit earlier in the show that he had with Teo Mackey of the Arizona Republic, where Teo asked him, listen, you said that this is a well-constructed roster, that you're putting together a team here. There are good things on this roster. What would you point to? Because the metrics, the statistics, they tell a different story. And Monty's first response was, what are we talking about? We talking about PFF grades? That's not the be-all, end-all. And then, after Monty pushed back on Teo responded with, okay, if you're pushing back outside of wide receiver, or outside of tight end and wide receiver and corner, what positions are above average? Teo gave Monty the opportunity, gave him the opportunity to, fine, you want to push back? Here's your chance. Push back. Tell me why I'm wrong. He couldn't do it. He stumbled through the answer. Talked about how they played young corners, how they had a starting Mike linebacker for the second half of the season. It was an incoherent mess, and it was not an answer that sold a message that that's the right guy to pick the next head coach. It was not the message that sold that this was the right guy to pick the next quarterback. It didn't send the message that this is the right guy to handle the number 3 overall pick in the 2026 NFL draft. Because if you do this correctly, if you get all of this right, should be the last time you're picking inside the top 3 for a really long time. Should be the last time you're that close to a blue chip prospect. So you have to hit a home run there. You have to hit a home run at coach. You have to hit a home run at quarterback. You have to hit a home run with the number 3 overall pick. And yesterday, I got the sense that this organization is going to strike out. I did not get the sense that a home run was incoming. Sometimes you get the feeling when somebody's going to go yard. Unfortunately, a lot of the time that Shohei Ohtani steps into the box, you just kind of have a feeling he's going to do something special. He's going to do something great. I don't get that sense with Monti Ossenfort. I don't get that sense that they're going to step into the box and hit a home run. I don't get the sense that they're going to even hit a double through all this. Because the message that I received yesterday was that injuries were the problem. The message that I received yesterday is that they couldn't really put a finger on why JG had to go. They kind of stumbled around that answer. The message that I got yesterday is that the fans are wrong for thinking that their season ticket prices are going up, that they're not getting good value when they go to the stadium. They're wrong. That's actually a incorrect opinion that the fans have. I did not get the sense of accountability yesterday. I did not get the sense of selling me a vision. I didn't even get a good answer when they asked both of them what they're looking for in the next head coach. Now, they're just words. And on the flip side, we had this press conference.
The alignment.
And we thought it was a disaster. We thought they are not going to be able to figure this out. And they opened the show today because I'm angry that they lost to the Houston Rockets because of how great the season is going. Things can change in an instant. They can change in a flash. I don't feel confident about the future direction. I don't trust Monti Ossenfort to spearhead what this offseason is going to look like. And I would point to the previous 3 years, and I would point to yesterday as my exhibits A, B, C, and D as to why I don't trust them to get all of this right. He was angry yesterday, and it was the wrong kind of angry.
What did they show you in yesterday's press conference over the last few years for you to believe? And the fact that they came into the press conference with the attitude, intent, feeling that they had in there of, we feel like we had to fire the head coach. It felt as if the fans made the decision for them.
Michael Bidwell talked about wins and losses, that this is a results-based business, and that was the driving factor. Still thought Gannon had a good read of the locker room, felt like he was a good person, felt like the vision was there. He said at one point, he made us better.
Felt like he changed the culture of the organization.
So it was a results-based business, yet the entire rest of the press conference, injuries were thrown around all over the place as an excuse. Felt like a tailor-made. You know what it felt like? It felt like they knew they had to do something, but that they didn't want to. It felt like they knew that something had to change after you go 3-14.
And I'm sorry. I'm sorry for saying this, but Jonathan Gannon didn't change the culture of the Arizona Cardinals. Because what did he show, or what did this team show that they changed the culture? Blow fourth quarter leads. Congrats, guys. We stopped doing that. We'll lose by 40 next week. Won't blow it in the fourth. It'll be over in the first. Come out against a division opponent and get pushed around 6 times this year. What did they show that improved the culture? And for you to go up there as an owner, as a general manager, and feel like you couldn't take accountability for the worst season in franchise history for a team that, it was put in the chat, has made the playoffs 7 times in 35 seasons.
It felt like the accountability stopped once they made the decision to fire Gannon. And now they were annoyed that they had to answer questions about it, specifically on Monty. I don't want to put Michael into that category, although I thought his answer about the ticket prices and the overall cost of going to a football game, I thought it was a lame answer.
I thought it was a lame answer, and I thought he knew he was going to get himself in a little bit of trouble, and then kind of backed out and was like, well, we're in the bottom half.
Yeah, it was a bad answer across the board, and you have to know the question is coming. You have to know the question is coming. And Monty wanted to push back on a reporter asking him about, hey, where's the roster better? Give him the opportunity to answer that. Couldn't even do that. Couldn't even answer that basic question of where the roster is better, because guess what? It's not. They don't have a Pro Bowler. They have holes all over the place. They're resetting at coach. They're resetting at quarterback. They're going to need an entirely new offensive line. It is a mess. They couldn't answer because there is no answer. But I just didn't get the sense that I trust the people that are in charge. Hour number 1 of the program in the books. Buy or sell to kick off hour number 2 next. It's the lunch break. KDUS AM 1060.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
This is Michael with Restore My Civil Rights. Let's be honest, nobody keeps New Year's resolutions. Gym memberships don't get used and diets fail. If you lost your firearm rights because of past convictions, here's a resolution you can keep. You've thought about this for years. Make it happen in 2026. You make the decision, Restore My Civil Rights does the work. This resolution will change your life. To book a free consultation today, call 855-GUN-RIGHTS or visit RestoreMyCivilRights.com. That's RestoreMyCivilRights.com.
Motley Crue, the return of the Carnival of Sins. September 16th, Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater. The Crew celebrates the 20th anniversary of Carnival of Sins. Motley Crue, with performances by Tesla and and extreme. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Motley Crue, part of the America First Credit Union Concert Series.
Listen up, truck buyers. This is your warning before you overpay. If you're shopping lifted trucks online, you better know this. Most prices you see are not real. They leave out the lift, the wheels, the tires, the tent, then crush you with tens of thousands in add-ons when you show up. Not at Unique Trucks on East McDowell Road. We do business different. Go to uniquetrucks.com because the price you see there is the final price. Lifts included, tint included, tires, wheels, accessories, all included. No hidden fees, period. Find a comparable truck anywhere in the valley. We'll beat the price guaranteed. We work with every bank and credit union. Pay top dollar for your trade and accept all credit. Here's how easy it is. Call 888-8LIFTED. Make your best deal right now on the phone, and we'll deliver the truck to your door anywhere in the Southwest. Test drive it in your neighborhood. No obligation. Stop playing games. Shop uniquetrucks.com. Call 1-888-8LIFTED. That's Unique Trucks on East McDowell Road or online all the time at uniquetrucks.com. The correct way of doing business. On approved credit plus tax, title, license, and $4.99 doc fee.
Meineke's highly skilled and certified technicians always treat your car like it's their own. With over 50 years of experience, Meineke will diagnose and fix any issue with precision and care using the best state-of-the-art equipment. You can always depend on Meineke to do the job right and get you back on the road in no time. Save time and schedule an appointment now. Visit Meineke.com today. Trust your key with Meineke. Meineke, doing car care right.
Superstar Car Wash has extended our best deal of the year. Log in 30% off for 12 months on a Super Protect Unlimited membership. Splurge elsewhere, save here, and treat your wealth before it's gone. Visit our website for details.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
Into hour number 2 of the lunch break here on KDUS AM 1060. Chris Schubert, producer Evan with you. Thanks for hanging out with us today on the program. One of the changes we made towards the end of 2025 that I love, I think it's one of the best moves we've made for the program, is moving buy or sell to the top of hour number 2. Just gives us just more room to breathe.
A little bit more time.
Right? You kick your feet up, you relax, you spread out, you get comfortable. You don't feel rushed because of the NFL look ahead or the rewind. Just have time to enjoy ourselves to open up hour number 2 of the program.
We only have I guess 2 hard outs on the whole show.
Technically, the end of hour number 1 isn't a hard out because it's us. So we
do just control that.
We can make it whatever we want. We just need to play the legal ID before the end of the hour. End of hour number 2 is the hard out because then we're handing it off to the Jim Rome show. And that starts right on. We can't be late.
Can't be late to the Jim Rome show.
If we decided...
Now, Jim, sometimes a couple seconds late.
Okay, that's... We won't go into that. We love Jim Rome.
We do. We're teasing. What
do we have on the docket today for buy or sell?
The Cardinals should interview at least 10 head coaches during their search.
10 head coaches?
Or 10 coaches.
10 coaches. Can I tell you that number feels like a lot? Like when you said it out loud.
10's a lot.
When you said 10, I kind of went to my brain of how often do I see teams tweeting about the interviews that they conduct? And I don't think it's 10. But
It's
it might
never
be.
10. It's always like 3 or 4. It feels like, at least.
I think it needs to be robust. And by the way, I think if your expectation is, and Monty kind of hinted at this yesterday, that the rules prohibit them from talking to teams that are still in the playoffs. And I think really the only reason why, or I should say one of the reasons why Monty brought that up is because they want to interview coaches, coordinators that are still in the playoffs.
Can I ask you a question, too? Didn't they hire Gannon before the Super Bowl was over?
Well, if you remember correctly, there were tampering allegations, and I believe a draft pick was sent to Philadelphia because of that.
Yes.
If I remember correctly. So, by the way, there's a little subplot there of you tampered for a coach, and it was a complete disaster. Couldn't even get that part of it right. You tampered, and you didn't have a winning season. 10, I don't know. Does it need to be robust? Yes. Do I think it's going to take a while because they're going to talk to coaches from teams that are still in the playoffs? Yes. 10? I don't know. Do I think they need to interview more than like 5? Yes. Between 5 and 10, I think is acceptable.
Monti Ossenfort.
I would just interview the 6 coordinators in the NFC West.
That's all I would do.
And just call it a day.
Call it a day. Monti Ossenfort's answers yesterday made you feel that firing Jonathan Gannon was strictly a business decision.
It did sort of give off the vibe that he needed to do that in order for it not to be him that was shown the door. This is not the spirit of buy or sell, but I'm the one sitting in this chair, so I'm gonna do it anyway. Yesterday's press conference made me think that they made the wrong decision in just firing Jonathan Gannon.
I agree.
How about that for a buy or sell?
I agree.
Yesterday was not a good look for Monty, in my opinion.
What if I told you that was literally the next buy or sell?
I'm just one guy, one radio host who has an opinion, and my opinion was yesterday was very bad for Monty.
And my next buy or sell was Monti Ossenfort should have gone with Jonathan Gannon.
Yeah,
it's hard not getting through that press conference, and however you watched it, and if you haven't, you can watch it on YouTube and form your own opinion.
I want to tell a story about this because we were on the air while they were doing the press conference, so I'm obviously not listening to it. We read some of the quotes. Okay, they're saying a bunch of stuff. They're saying all the things that you would expect on your end of season fired coach press conference bingo card. And then show is over. I'm like, I'm going to listen to it because listening to it, feeling the tone, it changes how you feel. I ran into your studio while you were editing social clips, and I said, you have to listen to this press conference today.
It was that bad.
I said,
it felt that bad.
And you went home and you listened to it, and you listened to it again this morning, and you came to some of the same conclusions I did. It just was not a good look.
And I think I felt better about it the first time I watched it. And as I watched it again, it got worse. It felt like.
Peter over on YouTube, detouring us some more, said, do any college coaches like Marcus Freeman get interested in the job? Allow me to do this to be as respectful as I can to the Cardinals fans that listen to this program. Marcus Freeman didn't want to interview for the Giants game. You think he's taking an interview with you? You think he's getting on a plane and he's flying to meet with this organization? The Giants are a way better setup. Way better.
Right now.
He tweeted, not going anywhere. You think he's going to take an interview with you?
Don't know if it'll be Marcus Freeman. Doesn't mean I wouldn't look in college.
That's where I was going to get to. Marcus Freeman, no. But I look at some college coaches that may be looking at the NIL stuff and just saying, I can't keep up with this. And they may want to look for a path to the pros. I would certainly look in that department, yes. I don't know a college coach that would wow me outside of Marcus Freeman.
Yeah.
Ryan Day wouldn't wow me.
No, not at all. I got to be honest with you.
Matt Campbell maybe 3 years ago would have wowed
Ohio
me.
State won the national championship last year, and I think they would be better with a different coach.
You know who would wow? You know who would wow me, but maybe not in the right way? Because it would wow me that he made the jump, but I would be very concerned about it working at the pro level. Dan Lanning.
Yeah.
I don't know if Dan Lanning would work in the NFL. He doesn't give off a NFL head coach vibe to me.
No. His message, his coaching style seems to resonate more with the college game.
But
than I think it would in the NFL.
But he's one of the biggest names. I think he's a top 5 name
in college football.
But I don't see him.
Would you give one of the older guys like a Dabo Sweeney, who listen, it hasn't been pretty recently, but
no, I wouldn't call Dabo. I'm trying to think of who I would call.
Kirby Smart.
Again, does Kirby Smart?
I don't think he would leave.
I don't think he would leave, nor do I. I don't see Kirby Smart and I go, that's an NFL head coach. You see Marcus Freeman and you go, that's an NFL CEO. Like that's a guy that can run an organization.
There's one other name that I think, just because it feels like no loyalty until he signed an extension, and that's Kurt Cignetti. Like, what's his tie to Indiana?
He doesn't have a large one other than the paycheck that he's getting.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's just not. I mean, Lincoln Riley maybe a couple years ago, but not now.
I need another good year. And doesn't he feel the same as Cliff did?
Oh, 100%. Although I think
Lincoln Riley has a more extended success.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think the resume is better for Lincoln Riley.
Yeah.
Way more success as a head coach. I mean, Cliff had the run at Tech where they were okay. He then goes to USC as the offensive coordinator. And before he can even do that, he gets the Cardinals gig. Lincoln Riley's been a head coach at 2 different universities.
And big ones.
Has gotten them to the doorstep of a national championship. In the case of Oklahoma, more so than USC. But
Jalen Hurts,
right.
Caleb Williams,
we've got
Kyler.
We've got a resume there that for Lincoln Riley is way better than Cliff's was coming in. Brian Kelly?
Oh, no. I think you're going to make me invoke his name, but he's Chip Kelly.
What about Chip Kelly?
By the way, congratulations to Chip Kelly. That fall from grace all the way down to Northwestern.
We should do a top 5 list at some point. Not saying we do it this week, but a top 5 list of sports figures that you hate the most. Chip Kelly's number 1.
Me?
I
have a list that I made in college.
That's a couple years ago. We got to refresh.
And so we got to refresh it. But Chip Kelly was on the top of the list then, and I think would still sit up top of it now.
The vitriol with which you speak of Chip Kelly on this program tells me he would be number 1. I don't know. Number 2 isn't even close to Chip. Not even the same zip code as Chip Kelly would be.
I'm already thinking of who number 2 would be.
I don't have an immediate. I have one.
Okay.
I have one. It's a similar theme. I think Kevin Patullo would be on your list. Who's also an offensive mind.
See how it finishes.
I'm sensing a theme here now that I think about it.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, you hate Rob Thompson, Phillies manager.
I do.
So he's on the list. I mean, all of the main coaches for your sports team.
I was gonna say none of them are rivals to this point of my list.
Joel Embiid might be on the list for you.
Yeah, I just don't have enough passion for the Sixers. For other ones. Oh, Brandon Marsh is on my list.
Can't stand that guy.
Can't stand it. All right, we'll make a list. We'll do it. I need your top 5 though.
Of most hated sports figures?
Yeah.
All right.
Ketel Marte, the trade talk.
Oh,
it's
yes.
over.
The baseball season is right around the corner. Yeah.
Congratulations. We're back, by the way, to Ketel Marte.
2 days. 2 days of rundowns. Not a single baseball segment. I'm sorry. What did you
the prospect of trading Ketel Marte is over.
You said Ketel Marte. I felt like I was in the Twilight Zone. Oh, there's a baseball team in town that we're allowed to talk about. I forgot. Yeah, no, they're not trading. Yeah, no, he's staying. You know what? Like you said, congratulations to Ketel Marte, opening day second baseman for the Arizona Diamondbacks.
This weekend is the best football weekend of the year. So obviously, Fiesta Bowl Thursday,
which you will be in attendance for. Programming note. On Thursday, the Sports Zoo, a special start time for the Rooster. It's going to go from 4 to 5 right after Jim Rome. He's going to be joined by special co-host for the Sports Zoo. Producer Evan's going to be doing the show with him because they are going to the Fiesta Bowl together. So they're going to do a full hour on college football, get you ready for the Fiesta Bowl, get you ready for the college football playoff semifinals. So a full hour, Producer Evan co-hosting the Sports Zoo with Rooster.
Very excited. A pregame show of sorts.
Yes.
For the Fiesta.
And the reason why you guys can't do 5 to 6 is because game starts, I think, at like 6 o'clock. You guys want to get over there. You want to have a good time. So we're moving you up a little bit.
It makes perfect sense.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
This weekend, best weekend of the year.
So we got
college football Thursday, college football Friday.
And then wild card weekend for 3 straight days.
Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
By the way, did you see the Houston Texans did not get their slot?
Yeah, they got the Monday night.
And you know who got put in the Houston Texans memorial spot? The Carolina Panthers. That tells you everything you need to know about how they feel about the Carolina Panthers.
No, that tells you everything. Carolina's winning that game. The home team always wins that Saturday first game.
I'm just surprised in a year in which Houston is in the playoffs that they're allowed to be in another time slot.
Also, I was so pumped to see Carolina get the Saturday game. Extra day of rest for the Panthers. They had the Saturday game last week. Short week for the Rams.
They're going to lose. What's the spread?
10.5.
Okay. Rams minus 10.5. Lock me in. What pick did I lock in yesterday? Was it not Rams minus 10? It might have been Rams.
It was. I think it was.
Yeah, so for 2 days
No,
in a row,
it was the Packers.
Oh, the Packers. Packers against the Bears. Yeah, lock that in.
And I have 2 obviously locked in.
You have
Panthers plus 10.5.
Yes.
As well as the New England Patriots.
That's your 3-point play, right?
That is my 3-point play.
I think it's by law your 3-point play. Because you said it in week 1 of the regular season that it would be your 3-point play.
On my list, it may just be the Chargers. Those wins figures.
Yeah, the Chargers. They're in there.
So random.
Yes, the Chargers would make the top 5 list as well. But yes, this is a very fun next couple of days for football. Absolutely.
That's it.
That's all you have. There you have it. Another edition of Buy or Sell to start hour number 2 of the program. It is Tuesday, which means we've got the NFL News Dumps playoff edition. A NFL wild card weekend edition of the NFL News Dump is next. It's the lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
The Dan Patrick Show.
You got Seattle figured out? I'm trying to. I said that defense is unbelievable. They run the football, but what's it come down to? Sam Darnold is going to have to prove to all of us in a big game he can play big. Now, you can say that game against San Francisco, he played big. He didn't. His defense did, and his running game did. We did this with Lamar Jackson. We do this with Josh Allen. There are certain quarterbacks where we go, okay, prove it.
Weekdays, 7 to 10 a.m. on KDUS AM 1060.
Do you love paying taxes? Yeah, we didn't think so. But here's something you will love. When you give a gift to Phoenix Rescue Mission, you can love your neighbor and get that money back on your Arizona state taxes. Every dollar you give will help rescue more neighbors from the streets, feed more people, and reunite more families. Give today and love your neighbor at phoenixrescuemission.org/tax credit.
A night you don't want to miss. Avenged Sevenfold. Good Charlotte. North America Tour 2026. Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater. August 27th. Avenged Sevenfold. Good Charlotte. An epic night of music. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Don't miss Avenged Sevenfold and Good Charlotte, part of the America First Credit Union concert series.
What's that song that goes ba-da-da-da-da-da? You mean la-di-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee? No, he's talking about bum, 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 bum. No, that's not it.
All right, guys, we don't have time for this. Furnaces are breaking down, and we promise we'll be there in one day.
That's it.
With Alaskan AC service guarantee, we'll arrive in one day or your repair is free.
Oh, that song.
One of my favorites. If you have a problem today, Alaskan AC will get to you within one day.
If we don't, the whole repair is free, no matter how much.
So good, people are singing about it.
With Alaskan AC service guarantee, we'll arrive in one day or your repair is free.
Reminds me of another song that goes boom, chicka boom, chicka boom, chicka boom.
I've never heard that.
Well, you're not as cultured as me. You have about as much culture as a bowl of yogurt.
With Alaskan AC service guarantee, we'll arrive in one day or your repair is free.
AlaskanAC.com.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. Since 2000, the Raiders have been best defined by one word: instability. 15 head coaches, if you count John Gruden twice. That's just over a quarter of a century. That tells you the story before you turn on the tape. The revolving door has become the organization's identity. Teams cannot build, grow, or sustain success when the foundation is constantly being ripped out. There are obvious contributing factors: a lack of elite talent, years without a true franchise quarterback. All that matters, but it always circles back to leadership. The Raiders have repeatedly missed on hiring the right voice, the right fit for a franchise that needs to be in the modern NFL. The result is a team stuck in neutral while the league evolves around it. Coaching turnover creates cultural whiplash, changing systems and expectations every few years. Players come and go. Now, the Raiders are on the clock with the number 1 pick in the draft and needing the right head coach again. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. These days, everybody's searching for ways to save on insurance, scrolling comparison sites, digging through tips, chasing deals, but Liberty Mutual makes it simple. Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance to save you money. And when you bundle, those savings really come through. It's insurance built for real people with a team that goes above and beyond to help you keep more of what matters. No hunting, no hassle, just confidence that your coverage customized with savings in mind. Start your quote at libertymutual.com.
Start the year with a splash of flavor with Heartland Steakho's Reef and Beef Package, which combines juicy steak and fresh seafood for the ultimate celebration. You will be feasting on Maine cold water lobster, jumbo USA sea scallops, 16-ounce USDA choice ribeye steaks, and 8-ounce filet mignon delivered straight to your door. Ordering is easy at heartlandsteakco.com. And right now, when you spend $199.99 or more, you'll get free shipping plus $26 off with promo code NEWYEAR26. Taste the Heartland difference.
NAU men's basketball continues here on KDUS AM 1060. Join the Lumberjacks this Thursday evening as they play host to Weber State. With the leadership of head coach Shane Burkhart, NAU knows they have what it takes to defend home court. Join Mitch Stroman on the call live. It's NAU versus Weber State this Thursday. Pregame at 5:30 p.m. and tip-off at 6 right here on KDUS AM 1060. Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
It's wild card weekend in the NFL. It is also a Tuesday, which means here on KDUS AM 1060, it's time for the NFL News Dump, the hottest stories in the world of football. And there's a lot. There's playoff games around the corner. A bunch of teams fired coaches yesterday. I don't think we could get to it all in just one NFL News Dump. We'll try to get through as much of it as we can. Producer Evan, guide us through the NFL News Dump.
Well, I'll start by asking, would you like to skip the coaches' firings? We talked about them extensively all yesterday. I can touch on all of them.
Well, if you have anything new about them, sure, let's
So just some coordinator changes. Some people brought in for interviews. People have requested to interview Vance Joseph, Broncos defensive coordinator. I saw that come up. Other people have been interested in interviewing some other coordinators, but all of those are on playoff teams. So and none of that can start yet.
And you had both Commanders coordinators be let go today.
Both Commanders coordinators let go. Obviously, the Cliff one could be more because he could get a head coaching opportunity, as well as the Cowboys let go of Matt Eberflus.
Yeah, that did not work in Dallas this year. They traded Micah Parsons. That was mistake number one. And then they were never able to fix their defense all throughout the year. So one and done for Matt Eberflus on the defensive side. And it's Jerry, it's the Cowboys. It does have its draw, but we'll see what type of candidate that they can get in there to be their DC.
And the head coaching options for Cliff are already starting to arise. Expected to interview with the Giants and the Titans for their open positions.
Yeah, I mean, the Giants have always been what I've thought is the best landing spot for Cliff. It's a young quarterback. He's had success with both Kyler Murray in his rookie campaign, Jaden Daniels in his rookie campaign. He's had success taking young quarterbacks and putting them in positions to succeed. And I would argue, out of the three quarterbacks, Kyler Murray, Jaden Daniels, Jackson Dart, Dart fits the way Cliff wants to call an offense more than the other two. He's not the most talented of the three, but I think he fits that air raid style of what Cliff wants to do offensively more than the other two guys.
In other news, I don't know if you saw this, but kind of a crazy story. So the Colts did their postseason interview or press conference.
They're running it back.
And yes. And Charlie Irsay Gordon says, end quote, "We have been very clear with Chris and Shane. The sense of urgency for them to deliver and perform has never been higher."
I saw a lot of people question that comment because she was asked a follow-up of wasn't there urgency last year? And then she answered it with, well, yeah, now there's just more urgency. And a couple of things. You have a new owner who's trying to get her feet wet with all of this, trying to understand all of it. And so I don't expect her, unlike Michael Bidwell, who's been around the block a couple of times, I don't expect her to have the best answers at the podium. I expect that to be a skill she's learning as she goes here because she's done
really
it a couple of times?
It's really the first end of season press conference she's going to get.
Okay, so we're going to give her the benefit of the doubt there. Also, is what she said wrong? There is more urgency. You had a great start to the year. We can definitively point to Daniel Jones getting hurt as a line of demarcation in the season. We're going to give you another chance because you proved in the first half of the season that with your quarterback, with somebody that you picked, this can be on the doorstep of greatness. So you're going to get another chance. You're not going to get injuries as an excuse for a second year. You're going to have to figure it out this go around. I see nothing wrong with what was said yesterday. Nothing.
I don't either. This is a new owner who is learning the ropes and it understands what the pressure is. And for me, I would rather have an owner go up and say that than lie to my face.
Also, you have a situation there in Indianapolis. You traded your first-round pick this year. You don't have a first-round pick in 2027. You fired the GM. You fired the coach. How attractive of a job is that? You have a quarterback who's on the shelf, not going to come back next year more than likely. You don't have the draft picks to get your way out of this. You have a young core nucleus of players that I think we all know are talented. But if you're a new owner learning on the job, trying to figure this out, I think it's in your best interest to keep Shane Steichen and Chris Ballard around, give them another year, and then when you see another year, you've got your feet wet, you have a better understanding of the way things are operating here because football was not what she wanted to do. Being the owner of the Colts wasn't on the list of things to do. She got thrusted into this role because of the unfortunate passing of Jim Irsay. So she's learning. And I think for her, taking a more patient, cautious approach, she's on a different timeline than the fans are, unfortunately. And so I think at the end of next year, she's going to be more confident, more comfortable in making a decision. And by the way, I think it'll be a better process. If she fired both of those guys right now, do we think they would nail the process?
No.
Next year, I think she would.
And I don't think that those
also,
guys...
I wouldn't fire them. They're doing a good job.
That's my next point.
Like Shane Steichen was on path to win Coach of the Year. They were going to win like 13 games, 14 games.
I wouldn't have made that
Jones move as their quarterback. So there isn't really a reason to make the move. So no, I'm fine. We're good.
I couldn't imagine. Seattle officially the new betting favorite to win the Super Bowl. NFC runs through Seattle.
It does run through Seattle, hence why they would be the favorite to win the Super Bowl. Because I think they've been more consistent than some of the teams you would look at on the AFC side, and they have home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Yeah, they get to sit at home and relax this week.
Devontae Adams, hamstring, expected to be back for the playoffs. That'll be big for their game against Carolina. They're going to need all hands on deck.
He was never not going to play in a playoff game, right? I mean, when he had the injury and they kind of shut him down, it was for this moment, right? So that he was as close to 100% as he could possibly get, if not at 100%. For a playoff game.
Also returning, DK Metcalf will return for the Steelers from his suspension that ended the year for him.
Yeah, it was what, 2 games he got?
2 games. It was week 17 and 18.
Almost cost them a playoff berth not having DK Metcalf out there. It didn't. Now they're going to get to play. They play Monday night against Houston, right?
They do.
That's the Monday night game.
The NFL's sack record. Myles Garrett officially broke the NFL sack record with a sack on Joe Burrow this weekend.
He is top 3 pass rusher in the history of the sport.
Yeah, probably.
This record,
this
record probably cements it.
I mean, we can go into it, but like, I just, and I know people have had the discussion about him and TJ Watt in the past. I don't really even think it is a discussion. I don't think it's a discussion at all.
And when you say that, you mean in the context of
who's better?
That Myles is better than.
Who would I ever want?
You would want Myles Garrett
every time. Yeah. He's a 4-time All-Pro first team, 2-time second team, has a Defensive Player of the Year. I'm assuming he'll have another Defensive Player of the Year as well as an All-Pro first team this year. Since 2018, he has not had a season where he hasn't had double-digit sacks. Since his rookie year where he had 7, he's been above 10 every year.
I need one game from one pass rusher to save my season. I would take Myles Garrett.
Every time.
I think with where they're at in their careers, I would take TJ Watt. So I would just get a longer runway there. But I would take Myles Garrett. One game, got to have it.
Got to have it. That's all I got for you.
I have some. Can you play the sounder, please? Play the sounder. You're out. You're not doing the show on Thursday with Rooster. He just texted me. He's a Steelers guy. You just talked bad about TJ Watt. So he just texted me. Tell Evan he's no longer doing the show with me on Thursday.
I wasn't talking.
All I'm doing is reporting the news as it comes across the
Rooster. I was not talking bad about TJ at all.
It came across the KDUS newswire. I'm just reporting the news as it is presented to me.
I don't know if Rooster's been listening. I'm a Steelers. I'm a Raji guy.
You are a huge Raji guy. Would not be on the list of top 5 sports villains for you.
No,
would not make that list.
He would make most people's.
He'd make mine, but he's not going to make yours. You love Raj.
Love Raj.
If you know what, if you wanted to get back in Rooster's good graces right now, you would make the Steelers your 2-point play.
The Steelers. What's the? Give me a second to find a line.
I don't know what the number is. I'm boxing you into a corner.
I just want to be
by
very
the time
clear.
we get to Friday, you're not going to have a pick to make.
I don't have a pick if I do this. Let's see. Odds, NFL odds.
I would guess the Steelers are.
They're 3-point dogs.
They're 3-point. You're getting points against the best defense in the NFL, maybe. The pain that is on your face trying to decide what to do here.
Yeah, I'm staying away from that one.
Wow.
I don't mind the over 39 and
you can do that if you want.
I don't know if that puts me back into good graces anyway.
I don't know if it does, but you could do that if you want. But you need to keep something for Friday's show. Because if you make a pick now, you will have all of your picks locked up. I have 1. 2. No, I have 2 as well.
By the way, you got Green Bay at +1.5 when you officially. It's completely moved. It's now Green Bay -1.5.
So I get the +1.5, right?
You do.
Thank you very much. That's why you lock in early. That's why you lock in early.
And just in case you were wondering, the public loves Carolina because it's down from 10.5 to 10.
That could get to 9.5 by the time we get to Friday, probably.
And I'll have the 10.5.
You'll have the 10.5. You'll get good value. Oh no, you won't. Yeah, because you're on Carolina. You're getting.
I'm on Carolina,
yeah,
so
so you're getting great value there. There you have it, the Wild Card Weekend edition of the NFL News Dump. When we come back, where did it go wrong for Jonathan Gannon? That's next. The lunch break. KDUS AM 1060.
ASU women's basketball continues here on KDUS AM 1060. The Lady Sun Devils make their way back to Arizona, this time to defend home court against the University of Central Florida. Head coach Molly Miller and the Lady Sun Devils are more than ready to take on any challenge that comes to Tempe. Join Jeff Munn on the call live this Wednesday. It's ASU versus UCF. Pregame at 6 p.m. and tip-off at 6:30 right here on KDUS AM 1060. Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The other day I couldn't find my belt, and my wife found my belt, and as she brought it to me, she said, "Where would you be without me?" And I wanted to say, "Exactly here without the belt." In fact, I would have the belt because I would know exactly where it was in yesterday's pants on the floor. But now, we're not allowed to leave yesterday's pants on the floor, so I need a National Treasure-style map to find my one lousy belt.
Seth Meyers, live on stage, Saturday, March 14th, Talking Stick Resort. Tickets are on sale now at TalkingStickResort.com.
Hey, it's Phil Shaver with HomeSmart, and I want to buy your house. I'm a local investor that buys homes for cash all over Maricopa and Pinell County. I buy inherited homes, nice homes, rental homes, homes that are behind on mortgage payments, and I even buy ugly homes that need fixing. Also, are you looking to get closer to market value for your house? As a licensed realtor, I've been able to buy and sell thousands of homes. Since I'm local, you can call me directly on my cell phone, 480-409-9999. Again, that's 480-409-9999. I don't work for a big corporation or hedge fund, so I can only buy 3 to 5 homes per month. There are no fees involved, and you can pick your own close date. The best part is I buy homes as is, so you don't have to worry about doing any repairs. Again, you can call me directly at 480-409-9999, or you can go to my website, gosoldaz.com. That's gosoldaz.com.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights, at home or at work. We'll make your happy place your own. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Right now at Del Taco, you can get 2 grilled chicken tacos for just $3. You hear that? That's the real sizzle of a real grill. At Del Taco, we freshly grill our marinated chicken right here in our kitchens. Not some factory far, far away. It's what makes our grilled chicken tacos a top seller for over 30 years. So come get 2 grilled chicken tacos, made to order for only $3. A real good deal we can all use right now. Only at Del Taco. Del, yeah. Price and participation may vary.
James Out West, your desert destination for sports here in the Valley.
Not surprised that the Cardinals aren't in. They fired their head coach. Kyler Murray's probably on his way out. It is what they like to call Black Monday. I'm kind of surprised by the Raheem Morris one in Atlanta. It's only been how long? Year? 2 years. So maybe that one. Pete Carroll gone. I told you from the jump when they hired Pete Carroll, I didn't like the hire. I think he's past his due. Let him go after year one. You might as well have kept the guy you had before and saved a bunch of money.
Every other Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060.
Despite him being gone, fired yesterday, what went wrong for Jonathan Gannon is a very important dissection that needs to be done by the Arizona Cardinals, because in order to not repeat what went wrong for Jonathan Gannon as the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals, to not repeat it, they have to know what happened here. And I think in order to know what happened here, you have to kind of put aside the record. Got to take the 3-14 from this year, put that to the side. You have to take the 15-36 record overall or whatever it is and put that to the side. Now, I will say when you do that, it becomes hard to exactly figure out where things went wrong for the team, because the reason that Michael Bidwell gave us yesterday for why the change was made was this is a results-based business. And the 3-14 record, they didn't feel like they were going in the right direction. They made the decision based on the 3-14 record. I want to put that to the side because I don't think that's everything that went wrong here. Becomes harder to do, but I think we can still do it. Because you have to put aside the fourth quarter leads that were blown. You have to put aside being unprepared to play your division rivals. You have to kind of put aside the blowouts, right? The 40 points on defense. You put that to the side for just a second, because I think there are three main things that went wrong for Jonathan Gannon as the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. He never showed accountability. He stood by coordinators and coaches longer than he should have, in particular Drew Petzing. And he never showed an ability that I think you have to have in today's NFL. He never showed an ability to outcoach the opposition. And I'm not just talking about the coaches within the division, because that's a tough hill to climb with Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay and Mike McDonald. It's going to be hard to outcoach those guys. But how many times did you walk into watching a Cardinals game and feel like the Cardinals had a coaching advantage because you knew what Jonathan Gannon was going to bring to the table as a coach? You didn't have it. Now, this does become sort of a chicken and the egg conversation. Are these issues because of the roster, or are they because of Gannon? And you can go either way, and you can convince yourself that, no, it's not the roster, it's actually Gannon. No, it's not Gannon, it was actually the roster. And you can spin yourself into circles. But I think these three things are what doomed Jonathan Gannon. He treated Week 17 press conferences when the team was in the middle of an 8-game losing streak like it was Week 3 in year 1, and things weren't dire. He allowed Drew Petzing to run an offense that was downright awful, and stood by his guys. And I imagine that if Gannon stayed, that there would not be major changes to the coaching staff. I wonder if that is something that played a role in what Monty and Michael Bidwell decided to do yesterday. Is that they felt that in order to change everything, to change the coordinators, they had to change everything. And you just never felt like going into a battle, going into a game, that even though the Cardinals may have been disadvantaged from a talent perspective, the coaching was going to keep it close, keep it competitive, keep them in the mix to where if a break goes their way here and a break goes their way there, that they would be in these games. Can I give you the perfect example of a coach who does this?
Of course.
It's Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin never has the most talented roster on the football field.
Ever.
They're in every game. They're in most games.
They become increasingly annoying to play.
That's what the Cardinals should be. You may not be next year or the year after the most talented team. You know what you should be? You should be the Phoenix Suns.
I was just about to say that. How about the team that sat up in their press conference at the end of the year and said, hey, we need to become the Pittsburgh Steelers.
The alignment.
We needed to become the team that doesn't have the most talent on the floor always.
The alignment.
That gets it done. That is constantly in games.
The alignment.
You know what the Cardinals did? You know what they did yesterday?
We went bust up. Wrong.
Everything wrong.
That's what went wrong for Jonathan Gannon. He could not outcoach the opposition. He always looked like he was a step behind. Adjustments, the preparation. I mean, they were unprepared. If you want to loop back in the results from last year, they were unprepared to play anybody in their division. Unprepared. What game was it that they committed the 17 penalties? Franchise record? Late in the season? That's on coaching, man. That is on coaching. Putting your players in positions to succeed. Going through with them the discipline that is required to not commit 17 penalties. And you know the one sign of accountability we saw all season from Jonathan Gannon? There's one moment. There's one moment where you saw accountability. Created a bit of a kerfuffle when he got on Amari DiMercato for the fumble. That's the only sign of accountability. And from that moment on, it was gone. It was non-existent. It didn't happen. That's what went wrong. So the Cardinals in their next head coach need to find somebody that they feel can out-scheme the opposition, that they feel is going to have their team, even on days where they're not the most talented group, more prepared. Can I tell you who also does a good job of this, although not so much this year? Kevin O'Connell did this with Minnesota. A coach that we don't have the most talent on both sides of the ball, but we're going to be in every game.
I mean, they've gotten more out of quarterbacks, and despite this year, than anybody could really imagine.
I think DeMeco Ryans gets more out of Houston than probably their true talent level.
I mean, they're 8-9. I think we would sit here and argue, and yeah, I thought he had a questionable game on Saturday. Dave Canales.
I don't think Carolina should win 8 games.
Not with that roster.
You have to be able to get more with less. You have to. You have to check that box. You have to show accountability. You have to be able to raise your hand and say, that one's on me. We need to do better. And then actually follow through and things actually change. And you also just need to, when things aren't working, be willing to make the tough decisions. And it felt like Jonathan Gannon was never willing to make the tough decision. The only coaches that ever left this organization was because they took other jobs. They kept these coordinators. And I think they were going to need to move both coordinators this offseason if they were going to keep Jonathan Gannon. And I don't know if he wanted to do that. I don't know if he felt that that is what went wrong this season. I think he would point to the injuries. He would point to the quarterback spot. And it just became too much to throw the quarterback and the injuries out there as an excuse and to throw those two groups under the bus to try to save everybody's job. Just wasn't going to work.
Not at all.
So the next head coach has to be somebody who's going to show accountability. It has to be somebody who is a master tactician. I want somebody who's a great X's and O's coach because I think that is something that the Cardinals missed. They had a good CEO.
They did.
Jonathan Gannon was a good CEO, keeping the group together. They played hard for Jonathan Gannon. They did not quit on Jonathan Gannon. Were there spurts? Sure. They did not quit. You saw how competitively they played the Rams in that final game of the season. They were in that game way more than you thought they were going to be into the second half.
But when you have a CEO, you need great coordinators.
Yeah, right. And they did not. They did not have great coordinators. So you either need to get a CEO who's going to be able to pick expert coordinators, guys with expertise, guys with experience, maybe guys who have been head coaches before. We're going to talk about this probably tomorrow, about the experience debate that's going to be had about this coaching search and whether or not experience is something that should be the be-all, end-all. And my early take on that is if you hire a inexperienced head coach, somebody who's never been in that chair before, that's fine. You got to nail the coordinators. That coach has to pick just bona fide studs at the coordinator position. And I'll come with the receipts tomorrow of coaches who have done that and they have found success. There's one in your division who's got a Super Bowl ring in his pocket, who did that exact thing when he got to LA. Do you know who Sean McVay's defensive coordinator was when he got to LA? Out there. For those of you listening to the program, do you know who he brought in as his defensive coordinator? Guy who's been an offensive coordinator and offensive assistant his whole life. Didn't know how to really coach up that side of the ball. He brought in Wade Phillips to be his defensive coordinator and said, it's yours. Go ahead. First couple of years as a coach, didn't even touch that side of the ball. Just let Wade Phillips run it. You want to do that, that's fine. You have to gain experienced coordinators to join your staff. Because you didn't have the experience. You didn't have the accountability. You didn't have the willingness to move on when things got tough. And that's where I think things went wrong the most for Jonathan Gannon. And those are the mistakes that the Cardinals and whoever their next head coach is cannot afford to repeat. 480-864-1060 is the phone number. We got one more segment before we get out of here. So your last chance for phone calls here today on the program. It's been a football-heavy show here today, so I imagine we'll go a little off the beaten path with the leftovers, all the stories we didn't get to throughout the course of the program. We will get to them next. It's the lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alicio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alicio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. Here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
9 Inch Nails. Live at Desert Diamond Arena, Friday, March 6th. Get tickets now at NIN.com. 9 Inch Nails. Live in Glendale. Peel It Back Tour 2026.
Doesn't it make you feel better?
You won't believe everything I just saw. I went to Disneyland, and it was the 70th celebration. First, I went to Mickey Mouse Clubhouse Live, and I danced with Goofy. I even got Dad to do the hot dog dance. He's not bad, actually. At night, I saw this parade. Everything was glowing. There were all these lights and colors. Sorcerer Mickey was there, and Lightning McQueen. Oh, then I went to this giant water show with all the Inside Out characters. And I was like, whoa. And then my parents were like, whoa. Oh, and guess what? Bluey and Bingo are coming for real life.
Make memories that last a lifetime during the 70th celebration. From Paint the Night Parade returning January 30th to World of Color Happiness. And with Bluey and Bingo coming soon. Happiness is everywhere at the Disneyland Resort. Visit Disneyland.com for details.
Nothing can stop us now.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm Kevin Rowe from Lerner & Rowe, and we've been serving Arizonans for 20 years. Make the best choice after an accident. Call 977-1900. That's 977-1900.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900. 977-1900.
You're listening to The Jim Rome Show.
The Lane Kiffin reinvention arc went from one of the truly feel-good stories in the game to him once again becoming public enemy number one. I have no issue with him leaving. It's how he left, burning all bridges yet again. You strung Ole Miss along. You turned it into a complete circus, and then you were bent when they wouldn't let you coach them in the playoff? Get out of here with that. It's natty or bust for you at LSU, Lane.
The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday, here on KDUS AM 1060.
Jim Rome is coming up next here on KDUS AM 1060, but hold your horses. Before we get there, we have the last segment of this program. So all the stories we didn't get to throughout the course of the show, we call it the leftovers. It's been a football-heavy 2 days here on the show, so I expect a left turn in another direction, but I don't make the rules. I don't pick the stories. That job is handed off to producer Evan. So what do we have on the docket today?
Couple baseball stories for you. Japanese star Tatsuya Imai has signed with the Houston Astros, looking to win a title for the Houston Astros.
It was a smaller deal than many in the industry expected him to get. He ended up getting, I think it was 3 years, $54 million. Originally, when he was posted by his team in Japan, the expectations were north of $150 million on a longer-term deal. Question marks about his ability to give a ton of innings, question marks about his secondary pitches, question marks about his fastball led to him take what is basically a 1-year deal with Houston. I know it's going to be reported as a 3-year.
It's kind of a prove-it deal.
It's an opt-out after the first year. So he can opt out after each of the first 2 seasons if he wants. So if he comes over to Houston and has an excellent season, he's going to opt out of a deal that's only paying him around $20 million a season, and he's going to move on and get a bigger contract once he has proved that he can pitch at the major league level. So a good signing for Houston. They don't have a ton of resources monetarily compared to other teams, so they're able to structure a deal, and they have one of the better free agent pitchers that was available this offseason.
Another Japanese star, third baseman Kazuma Akamoto, has signed a 4-year, $60 million with the Toronto Blue Jays.
Yeah, this is a great deal for Toronto. This is a player in Okamoto who can play first base. He can play third base. Going to give you good defense at both spots. It's for a ton of contact. Doesn't hit for as much power. And that was the debate between him and Murakami, who ended up going to the White Sox. Murakami is the more power bat. It's going to have more swing and miss, but it's going to hit a ton of home runs, and they're going to be loud. Okamoto is consider him more of your guy that's going to hit 270, 280, 290 and spray the ball all over the place. And it's a middle of the order bat for Toronto, who spent a ton of money this offseason. They get Okamoto. They get Dylan Cease. They have been very, very active here.
People think they're still in on Tucker.
They could bring back Bo Bichette. I mean, they've got a lot of money that they are flexing this offseason for a team that was, one play away from winning the World Series in Game 7.
Okamoto, very similar to me. He's very Boston. They have
okay. If you give me more, I can help you here.
Yeah.
You've just said Boston.
Yeah.
When I think of Boston, I think of Nomar Garciaparra.
No, current player.
So current player. And not Rafael Devers.
No.
Not Jaron Duran.
No.
Rafaela?
No. Who's the guy they got from the Korean League?
The guy that they got from the Korean League.
Am I crazy?
You might be. I don't know. We'll find out together.
Give me a second.
We're now, just so you know, everybody on this program is now, we're in your brain.
Masataka Yoshida, and he's Japanese.
Okay, because now we're in your brain, and you need to get us out. So you got us out. It's Yoshida. Similar players. I think.
Uses all sides of the field.
Okamoto
has probably more power than Yoshida does.
Is a little Seiya Suzuki-like, I would say, maybe.
Okay.
A little bit. Suzuki has a little bit more pop, but I think that's...
Seiya Suzuki had a pretty good year.
He did have a good year last year for the Cubs.
I don't even know what the numbers say. I just felt like he was.
I would set the over-under on his batting average last year at 272.
272 in 2025?
Yeah.
245.
So he hit for a ton of power then.
Yeah, he had 32 bombs, 2.6 WAR.
What was his WRC plus?
His WRC plus was... I'm a huge nerd. You are a huge nerd. And to find that, gosh, you got to really... The fact that they don't just post this somewhere where it's very findable.
Well, where are you looking? Are you on Baseball Reference?
Yeah.
It's not going to be there. It's going to be on Fangraphs. Imagine going to Baseball Reference for these types of...
I just clicked the first link. I'm a huge nerd.
Fangraphs is a bookmark on every device I own because I'm on it every day. Every day I'm on Fangraphs for something. And because you see my fantasy baseball league that I'm in.
I do, yes.
I'm on it every day for something.
His WRC plus in 2025 was 123.
It's 23% above league average. It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Pretty good year.
So yeah, Toronto just beefing up their offense, and yeah, they're the team to beat in the American League until otherwise spoken.
Yeah, 100%.
And not just because they're the defending American League champions. I just think they have the best roster.
I think everybody would agree with that. What team do you honestly think is going to beat them? If you had to take one team in the American League.
Gosh, if the Orioles had one more pitcher, I would take Baltimore, but they just don't. And I'm worried about some regression for Seattle as an offense. And their pitching.
Well, you know how I feel about that offense. They can't score.
In particular, their pitching staff's excellent, but I don't know. Are they going to be able to do it with the offense being what it was last year? And I think it's going to take a step backwards. They lost their DH who hit 25 home runs in Polanco. Is Cal Raleigh going to have that type of season again?
Probably not.
So, you have all these question marks about their offense. The Tigers, are they going to have enough offense? Do they have enough pitching after Tarek Skubal? Is Skubal even on the team on opening day? I mean, these are all legitimate questions about Detroit. Who else in that division are you going to take? You going to talk to me about Cleveland? Minnesota stinks. Kansas City, I don't think has enough offense. Houston, I like the core there. They brought Carlos Correa back. They got Tatsuya Imai. But Framber Valdez is a free agent.
So you're worried about the A's.
Funny enough, the A's might be a team that's more complete and can be make some noise in the American League.
No, I know. I'm like kind of joking, but also not really.
I don't think they have enough pitching.
I don't either.
But
they can hit.
They can hit.
They score runs.
They signed Soderstrom to an extension. It's the largest extension they've given out, by the way. They're spending money. Yeah, I mean, the American League, I think, is Toronto's to lose, and then maybe you put the Yankees behind them because they're the Yankees, and you just know they're going to kind of always be there, but it's about it.
In some transfer portal news, Bryce Underwood is returning to Michigan for his sophomore season.
A couple players returning to Michigan after initially.
Yeah, I saw that. Very interesting.
It's the power,
I thought they would leave.
No, it's the power of Kyle Whittingham.
They are going to run Bryce Underwood so many times.
Are Michigan fans ready for that style of play? Are they ready to?
Yeah, it's the style of play they play.
It's not. No, it's a different brand in Utah. It's a little different. It's a little different.
It's not that different.
No, in Utah.
Under Harbaugh.
Okay, under Harbaugh, they were allergic to passing the football.
They're going to throw the ball more.
You might be right. They might throw the ball more. I had to think about it for a second. You might be right. They might throw the ball a little more.
Remember, they won a national championship with J.J. McCarthy.
By throw the ball more, it might top out at 25 attempts.
Yeah. Let's look this up.
Of how many attempts?
J.J. McCarthy, average pass attempts per game at Michigan.
Oh, I don't know. Unless you're putting that in an AI chatbot, I don't know if Google's going to give you the results you're looking for here. Really?
Yep.
That was a very detailed thing that you asked for.
Yeah, AI chatbot.
What did you get?
22.13 attempts per game.
It might be the same number under Whittingham. It might be around the same number. It's going to be in that zip code. I mean, they're not throwing it 30 times a game.
No.
But yeah, hey, good for Whittingham to keep those players in Michigan. That's good.
Yeah, no, it's really good.
It's going to give them a chance to get off to a good start. I'll tell you that.
I think they're going to be fine.
He's great. I love him. Happy that he's not coaching Utah anymore.
And me too. Get him out of conference.
Yeah. Clear the path for ASU. It's going to do it for us here. Tuesday edition of the program in the books. Jim Rome is coming up next. Producer Evan, thank you for all that you do. Everybody have a great rest of your Tuesday. We'll talk to you tomorrow. See ya.
AM 1060 KDUS